Hey everybody, another video here for you today. Another request. I have this comment. Have you ever looked at the Knowlton Hinge in the UK? No, I haven't. So why don't we do that? I've just looked into this briefly. So any information you can add to this site, go ahead. But one thing became very apparent down here. Here's a look at the site from overhead, but the first thing you notice is that the big henge here is just one of many features in this area. But let's go down here and take a look. You notice there's one right here. And then clearly there is one right down here. There's a few more. There are circles, there are barrows, which are basically small stone mounds. There's all sorts of stuff in this general area here. Here we are, perfectly aligned. There's a gateway coming out of here. Remember my video 2 videos ago on the Gothic mound? I'm almost positive that is pointing to the winter solstice sunset right here. These were set up for a reason, but let's just look around here. First thing I noticed, there's a small circle right here, and that is very evident. Bigger circle hinge type thing that's been kind of lost right there. First, maybe we should go down and take a look at this structure right here. Here is an early Christian church that was put in on the site. There is evidence of some burials here from the Christian period. They took over a lot of these sites that some go back into the Neolithic age, and that's what's said about this one. It could go back maybe 4,000 or 5,000 years. They're just not sure. But this just hints maybe being 4, 5, maybe 6,000 years old. And here is a gateway right there. These people were watching the skies. Here's a look down on Street View at the whole site. You notice how built up this is. This reminds me of that circle in Germany I talked about. That's aligned with Stonehenge. Here's a gateway. But the first thing that I do when I look at these sites, and it's similar with all of them, are they up on an area that is kind of higher than the rest of the landscape, clearly made for observing the heavens, and this one clearly is too. Here's a look at the double enclosure around a more modern church. Here's the gateway. These people were clearly astronomers. Here we are on the outer berm. Seems to have 2 different berms here, just like that 7,000-year-old circle in Germany. Is this thing 7,000 years old? Well, I wonder if it could go back that far. That'll give you a good look here. The whole site here, a lot of time and effort would have been taken to build this structure for sure. Here's a look from overhead, and I found this very interesting. A lot of farm fields where there are mounds in ancient America. There are just trees surrounding the site. That is a mound, stone mound right there, a barrow. There's the big enclosure surrounding the church. These structures are easily seen, but what I missed is down here at the bottom there is a very large enclosure right here. Let's go over to a diagram. Here you see the barrow right here, the big enclosure around the church. Structures up here, but this down at the bottom, a very large south circle they call it right here. Way bigger than the Knowlton Hinge around the church here. Now, I didn't notice that south enclosure when I first looked, but if you look real hard, you can see it perfectly here. Here is the western and north side of it right there, and then it comes over here, and you can see it perfectly in this farmer's field, the eastern side of it here. And I'm just curious, you can see it down here on Google Street View. We'll go down and take a look. I'm not going to edit this. You're just going to do this along with me. Oops, we might not even be able to get a view here. Well, maybe we will here. Let's look out there and see if we can see any traces of that. Well, there seems to be different color there. That could be the eastern side of that giant enclosure right there. That appears to go for a while. I'm sure that's it, in fact. That's pretty cool. Exploring on Google Earth, you're just doing it along with me here. First look. The enclosure surrounding the church here is about 100 meters across. And the one that's kind of lost down here is 200 meters across. Let's go look in this general area here first. Let's look at that barrow. This is probably a stone mound under here. And it looks like this is kind of raised up. That's what it appears to me. Right nearby, if we back out, you can see another circle. Right down here, clear as a bell. Once again, stuff does not grow the same way. If there is stuff right underneath the surface, stones, disruption, that seems to be a little area there where a circle is clearly evident. Here is that area nearby, right there. That is on the diagram. If we go down here, there is another barrel right here. That is pretty clear. Maybe we can get a look at this on Google Earth Street View. Here's a look at the countryside. Not too much traffic. And there are the trees growing on top of the stone mound with burials underneath. Here's a look at one of the barrows here. Is this made of just earth material or stones or both? Just not quite sure. Let's see what else we can find here. You're kind of doing this along with me. Let's see, this is in here. That certainly is another mound. Burials underneath. I think I read there are a few dozen in the area. Let's see here. Another one right here probably. Let's go back up to where I started here. This site down here. You notice down here, right off in this farmer's field, I know I saw it. Yeah, it's right down here. There's a pretty good sized circle right there. It appears there is a circle in a circle right there. That is pretty cool. I don't think any plowing would result in that. There's a smaller one right here, and it kind of goes over two different areas of plowing right there. See that? A lot of these very ancient sites had pathways coming off them, including the last site I talked about, even though I didn't mention it, but I got that in a comment. But you notice down here, it almost appears there is some kind of ancient pathway going through here, and it keeps on going. But that would have connected, if indeed that is some sort of trackway or pathway, that would have connected to the large south enclosure down here that I talked about originally. And I noticed another circle right down here, right down there. See, it's kind of built up, smaller one there. Also nearby, right here, you just need to look around, you can find stuff. There is another circle right here. Well, let's go to a site that is very close by here. It's called the Badbury Rings. And this place is very large, and this really surprised me down here. Now, this site down here appears to have as many as 3, maybe 4 rings to it. 3 that are clearly evident. This appears to be built up, definitely. This is very large here. Very impressive ancient structure. I'm surprised I haven't covered this yet, in fact. I'll just back out and measure it here. Appears to be, why don't we say, 530 meters across. In feet, that's about 1,745 feet across that way. And in miles, it is about a third of a mile across, almost exactly 1/3 of a mile. Here is a look at it, and the dating is a little confusing. It says there is 2 different periods of construction here. One that goes back maybe 3,500 years. Then it says there are earlier barrows that were made earlier in time in the general area here. I guess Vespasian and the Roman army went through here in about 46 AD. A lot of different periods of history here. The dating, it's a little vague. There also appears to be a few other features right nearby the Badbury Rings, as they're called. Right down here, this feature appears to be something right under the ground right here. Just off to the northeast here, there appears to be a feature right down here also. That appears to be just kind of slip sliding away. But I think I see one right there in that field also. And then right down here, where's it? A couple eyeballs staring up at you right there. Those could be some ancient mounds right there. I think I'll wrap it up. I appreciated the suggestion on the Knowlton Hinge up there. A lot of features to be found on Google Earth, a good place to explore. The Bad Burry Rings there, that place was huge. Mystery, how far back in time that goes. Kinda to me, that's just my gut feeling. But that was a quickie done off the top of my head. Hope you enjoyed it. You all have. very safe.